avoiding the conversation, obviously, at the workplace and stuff like that. But um, just next time you see Charlotte, let her know. And if she still doesn't get it, let me know. And I will probably have just as blunt of a conversation with her as I've had today. So
Okay. I appreciate that.
yeah. Um, besides the note in the fingernail, which actually, funny enough, I want to check that fingernail. But is there anything else that's been going on that you wanna talk about?
Mm, I mean, not really. I pulled up the chain, like up the chain. That's what it's called.
Mm,
About Christmas. I told Espinos, and he said he was gonna push it forward because he was pretty not happy that that happened.
mm.
Um, I told him
Was
I wasn't mad about the charge. Like I pled guilty. Like it is what it is. I
was
didn't
there a
go to
reason
jail.
you were left? Did he like actually leave you there in cuffs, or
Wait,
was
she was
he
charged for
investigating the
what?
scene?
There was several officers there. There was only two of us.
What
Like
the fuck, balls? Why?
walking.
Why?
Basically, somebody hit Liam
What the?
with a bat. Um, Police showed up on scene. They handcuffed both of us. Both Liam and I asked not to put me in handcuffs because of the trauma. I said I was going to comply completely. I had been complying the entire time beforehand. And he put me in cuffs anyways. And then it was like a spiral then of just a panic attack.
Huh.
And then he asked me if I was okay, and I shook my head no. And he said, okay, I'll give you a minute, and then just walked away from me. And I couldn't breathe. Then I came back, and he said, because I was wearing a mask, he asked to search me. He searched me. He saw the handcuffs and put me on parole for the handcuffs and fined me. And then took me out of cuffs. And or no, he took me out of cuffs, and then he left. And he had a cadet watch me and told the cadet if I moved to beat me. And I just sat on the ground trying to catch my breath. And the cadet told me not to shake too much, or else he would have to beat me. Because I was like,
What?
What was the reason for the search?
because I had a mask on.
That is not how that works.
A couple of people have told me that. They said something about frisking, and I don't know who it was that told me that frisking doesn't get.
There's a difference between a frisk and a search.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna text her and let her know I'm okay.
Mm.
I'm literally just gonna say I'm okay.
Okay. Did the officer say you have a mask on, so we need to search you? Or did he ask to search you?
He never asked. He just said, "You have a mask on, so I have to search you." And I said, "I wear the mask because it's for my safety. I'm unsafe right now." I said you can. There's probably a report about it if you wanted to look at it, but like it's why I'm wearing it. And he said it doesn't matter. And then he might have. I think he frisked me first and said, "I feel something on you," and I said I had a bat. And then he said, "No, I feel something else." And then he searched me and pulled off the handcuffs.
Okay.
And then he left me sitting on the ground after he terrorized me, and then just left. And then somebody called Charlotte, and Charlotte rushed there and ended up passing out and having to go to the hospital.
Were you still cuffed when he left?
No, he uncuffed me.
Oh boy.
He did a lot of fucked shit though on that scene. He left Liam bleeding in the middle of the road. He
What?
jumped out of the car with a shotgun in his hand. Pointed shotguns at all of us. None of us had weapons in our hands.
Do you remember why the officers were on scene to begin with?
Liam and Mikey were fucking around with a bat.
Okay.
The whole situation was so fucked for me because
I'm
both
sorry to
Liam
cut
and
you off.
Mikey-
Do either of you have something to eat by chance?
Yes. Have a Lesburger.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What the heck?
It's
You're good.
It's a less
It's a
burger.
less burger. It is a less burger. Complimentary burger shop. It looks like a taco, but it's like a burger bun folded in half. Anyways.
The explanation's worse.
Fuck. Oh, Liam and Mikey had illegal weapons on them and they didn't get charged at all. They decided to gun-ho on me having handcuffs. It is what it is. Like I said, I told Sebastian, my lawyer, and I told Espinosa, I don't care about the charge. It is what it is. Like, I had something illegal. That's fine. I'll eat that. You know what I mean? But I felt so poorly treated. Felt almost inhumane, you know? I tried to indicate several times that I wasn't okay, that I couldn't breathe, and he just kind of ignored me and left me there.
Well, I'm gonna apologize, considering
It's not your fault.
I know it's not my fault, but I told you when we spoke that one day in the interrogation room that any officer would be willing to help you, and honestly, I put a lot of faith in the police department. I know we're not perfect, but I try and put enough faith to say that you can talk to anyone, and to hear that kind of saddens me a little bit, because I feel like that's just not the message that, you know, needed to happen. Also, actually, Tessa, I'll talk to you about this after, but I don't know.
Oh, and also a double FYI, I don't know if Lovesick told you already. I forgot to tell you that they took things off of me that you could look for if you ever got the chance. One being my literal identification.
They didn't give it back?
Didn't give anything back.
When you were originally kidnapped? Okay, I'm gonna note this down. What was taken from you?
I think
Well,
Lovesick already did.
I was still thinking about the officers. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I don't know if Lovesick did note it down. It looked like he did. He made me pause between words, but I'll tell you anyway. They took a machete. They took chain dusters. I'm trying to go slow because he writes really slow.
275 words per minute. I'm ready.
They took
Man, is it even 19 months?
my dark green karambit. Also, get up to 300 words, then you can talk to me. They took my megaphone. And then they took my ID.
I think most of that's going to be a little hard to track. The ID is
I was just
very
about to
important,
say that.
Yeah, that's
but everything
that's the
else
one, yeah,
hard to identify what's whose and stuff. But
I figured. But yeah, no, that the ID was the big one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Everything else is probably gonna be gone. There's probably nothing we're gonna be able to do. The only way that any of that stuff could even be recovered is if we find the ID and all the other stuff, and even at that point, it's probably gonna be evidence until it is released, which it probably wouldn't be. So, we'll keep an eye out for the ID.
Yeah, no, like I said, I didn't say anything because I wanted it back. I said it because it would probably be very beneficial if you found my identification.
yes, it would be. It would actually probably be a nail in a coffin for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting the probable cause to actually get a search warrant for said identification card.
Yeah. I
When was,
figured.
when was the last time your license was stolen, Emerson?
I don't think I've ever had it stolen before.
Perfect.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, no, I know I haven't. I have never had it stolen. The only other time I had to buy a new one was when my 2022 one expired.
I'm just making a note, so hopefully if somebody does find it, we can try and track it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Just noting that down. I have the list. I'll make sure I add that in where I need to. That's gonna be a very big piece here if we can track it and find it. What's up, Rain? How you doing? Good to see
I
ya.
also did the stolen ID tag.
Oh, I forgot the stolen ID tag was a thing. You are.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, Emerson, if there's nothing else right now, we'll kind of part. But obviously, you know, I'm a phone call away, and you know that I'll be in touch whenever you need me. Just
I
reminder:
appreciate you.
no text messages, no paper trails.
Texting right now. Thank you for investigating the case where Echo Gray kidnapped me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Me too.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. Thank you.
God damn it. All right. If you need anything, give me a call. And if you can't get in touch with me via phone, 311, and I will do my best to get back to you when I can. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Not a problem. You be careful. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
So there's no report on her arrest with those handcuffs.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there's no report filled out. Christmas and Gold didn't fill out their report.
There's no evidence.
They have 48 hours, but
there's no evidence. There's no nothing. There's a statement from Harvey, which Harvey's good for that.
and it's unrelated to Emerson at all.
Yeah. This is a very ugly report. Also, can I vent for 2 seconds?
Yes.
Why is Charlotte trying to get everyone around her killed?
I don't know, because she's stupid, maybe?
Oh my god! I flat out just told Emerson.
I'm mad at Kiki, though. I am actually livid about whatever is going on with that. I think I need to step back.
Okay.
Because I want to say something, and it's not going to come out nicely. And I'm worried that anything I might say will come back to Jeffy. So, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. And, I think I need to back away from this one.
Okay.
A little bit.
That's fine. I'll say this. If there's anything you want to say, I don't mind hearing it if that's something that you want to express instead of keeping that one lock and keyed, boiling. You know I'm not going to go and say anything, but that's entirely up to you if it would help you.
I don't know. I just am frustrated by the situation and the fact that she is willing to go and blab to somebody like that. when it's clear that it's something dangerous
Yeah.
that's been insinuated. Um, I've got some issues with Jeffy that are, well, they were just personal issues. Now I have problems with him at my workplace. Um, he did a little interfering in my relationship that I didn't exactly appreciate, but I I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about all of this stuff, and a lot of my frustrations with Kiki revolved around her just blatant inability to care about her own safety. And it was very frustrating and terrifying at sometimes. And I think she and I had some fights over this because she chooses really dumb options almost 100% of the time.
Aw.
And it was a very harsh point of contention for me. Even at Wyland's funeral, I had a moment where I almost yelled at her because somebody was up on a hillside watching the funeral. It was pointed out by everyone at the event. Instead of waiting for anyone to, say anything about it or do anything about it, she ran up the side of the hill to chase this person.
Huh?
I don't know. She didn't know who it was. Like, it could have been someone that was wanting to hurt somebody. Because why would you be standing on the outskirts of a funeral? It's creepy. And I feel like there's parallels here to be made. She just kind of runs into the danger. And that is so frustrating for me.
This is really good RP. I don't want to say much.
Because
I'm sorry.
I've tried so hard to help her understand why stuff like that is a bad idea. And we had so many talks about that. And it's so scary for me. There was one time when the Blocks stole my driving school cars. And she knew about it. And it was Asher Gray, and she knew Asher had earlier threatened to, like, kidnap her and force her to do a crime. And what does she do as soon as she hears that my car is stolen? She calls him and tries to communicate with him and meets with him alone to get my car back. My car that I didn't even care that he stole it.
It would have been covered under insurance. It wasn't anything to stress about.
My car is replaceable and she is not. And the Blocks hate me. Imagine it had been all of the Blocks.
Would have been a very different outcome.
They could have used her as, like, leverage to get at me or something? It just... And I don't want to be mean, but... Why?
I mean, you heard me just a minute ago with
For
Emerson.
what reason?
Mm-hmm. You heard me with Emerson. I mean, you know, I don't want to be mean, but I do think that there comes a point where sometimes you know your frustrations are valid, and I think all of your frustrations are valid. And I mean, before I even go about, I guess, validating the things that you're saying, just I'm sorry that you've felt this way, and I'm sorry that you went through it. I'm sorry that it feels probably more like you're still going through it, even if it's indirect. It feels more like, if I had to guess, you had a conversation.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's terrifying, and it's probably very, I don't know if demoralizing is the right word, to think that you guys have had probably plenty of conversations in regards to this exact thing, and to hear it from someone else that this happened probably feels more like a shot in the foot.
It does. And, like, I don't know how much you know about Joe.
Joe?
Joe Goldberg.
Mm-mm.
He was stalking me and Cleo and April Foos, and there was a whole situation up on the bridge, the train track bridge over Cassidy. There was a good like 10 to 12 people up on the bridge. I was staking it out because we were waiting for Joe to show up because he had kidnapped somebody, and we had arranged a meeting.
up,
It was a
Alfie?
stakeout. It was a sting operation.
This is a
I
really
was
good.
up on the hillside with a bunch of other officers in position,
This is really good.
and Chang Gang was up there with April. And it was very obviously something going on. And I was looking through my camera lens, my police camera lens at the scene to watch to see if it turned violent or anything. And you know what? You know what happened?
What's that?
I see her on her bicycle, casually riding through this group of people through the lens of my camera. Do you have any idea how that made me feel? To see her just blatantly disregard everything around her? I had to text her to tell her to get out of there because it was about to turn into a shooting. The Cheng Gang and April were waiting for Joe to show up, so and we were gonna move in as soon as Joe showed up. But there she was, smack dab in the middle of my scene, randomly. She hadn't been called there, she was just going across the bridge. And that was very early on in our relationship, and ever since that day, I was kept awake at night.
This is the first time that
thinking
Tessa's
about
opening
that
up.
moment,
I wave, you fuck.
and just how oblivious somebody could be. And it just kept happening, Flop. And even when we're not together anymore, it's still happening. It's still terrifying. And I don't know what to do about that.
You will always care for Kiki. And Kiki will always care for you. The parallel with that, though, is that it's hard to stay connected to somebody who disconnects himself. And it's not a I've decided to step back. It's not a oops, I forgot we talked about that. The disconnection that you guys had was, to put simply, life-threatening. And it's hard to feel like your world around you is going to bed at night wondering what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next, when is it going to happen again? Because these aren't small little oopsies, right? Maybe one time if it happens, okay, we need to avoid this. But this was a constant thing. And I feel for you. And I wish I had an answer for you that would be the answer, if that makes sense. But I'm never gonna have the answer to what you're experiencing. What I can tell you, though, is I think what you and Kiki have done, without, obviously sparing a lot of the other details, because it's not my place, but you guys splitting is probably one of the healthiest decisions you could make in a situation like that. It is not the right answer. It is not the wrong answer. But it is a decision that was healthier for both you and Kiki. What is that 311?
What? Oh my god. What?
She can wait.
I don't... What did we do between that conversation? Hello? Did you text Charlotte?
Nope. I told her that if Charlotte needed to get in touch with me, or likewise, I would get in touch with her. But I told her, partially on the fear factor idea, that I'm not going to hold her hand every time she makes a mistake. What the fuck? We're getting followed by a dodo truck right now?
I just noticed that. It made a U-turn. Oh, no. Maybe not.
They're going into the canals. Okay. I want to finish my point, though, and I will contact Emerson after. I think you made the healthiest decision for the both of you. And the reality is, even if it wasn't the choice that you wanted, if it means anything, And at least this is the way that I see it. Whether attached at the hip or not, the concerns that you had are still very there. And if anything, the healthy choice to hopefully kind of have that reality be reset is still happening. In other words, I don't know if there's anything else you personally could do in a situation like that where that would make more sense or help Kiki. There are certain things in this world that even I've had to come to terms with. The perfect example is Emerson. I have given her days and days of warning on how to simply avoid the conversation and how to simply not put yourself in any more risks than you already are in. And to constantly hear, oh, well, this got brought up to this person and they told Jeffy. It's hard for me to feel bad. Which is why I flat out told Emerson that I refuse to talk to Charlotte. It's not that I've given up on her, but I'm not going to be used as a crutch to be your reminder, right? I've given you all my warnings. I've given you all of my goodwill to hopefully see how to be a better approacher in situations like that. And to go completely against everything that I've talked about the last 4 days feels like someone spit in my face. And if anything,
Yeah.
this is a nice simple way of me telling Charlotte indirectly, I won't be there to hold your hand every step of the way through this. I can't be. And if that isn't clear, let it be known now that it's clear now. You need to start making better decisions. So that 311 I will address, but I am definitely not about to get involved in relationship drama over keeping people safe. And the reason I'm bringing up this is because it's happening now, but I don't think you should feel guilt over what's happening or has happened with Kiki.
I don't know. I'm angry.
At who?
At her and Charlotte and Jeffy. I'm just mad. I'm done being afraid for all them because they just keep making these decisions and it's just really frustrating.
And that's okay. It may not feel okay, because for a while I was the same way. For a very long time, I genuinely saw the good in people, even at their lowest or at their worst, and knew that there was opportunity there to see people do better. But it's hard to it's hard to connect to somebody who constantly puts themselves in that position. And I don't think your feelings are invalid in that. And you have a right to be angry. And honestly, after, I guess, understanding more of what's going on, I think it's good that you step back from this.
I'll help how I can with just whatever information that might be pertinent, but I'm not gonna sign any warrants or anything. I think it'd be better if we got someone else.
That's fine. And I can take care of that.
I won't touch the reports. I'm not gonna talk to your people.
I know I say this every time we talk. Usually it's in passing that I say it, but if there's any time I mean it, it's right now. Not to say I don't mean it in other areas, but if there's an opportunity for you to really consider it, I'd like it to be now. If there is anything that you need, even if it is just to talk or to vent or to discuss what's been going on, or you're feeling a certain way in regards to what's happening now, or how you've felt in the past, whatever, right? If you need to talk, please reach out to me. You will not bother me.
All right. I appreciate that.
Let me handle what's going on with...
What the heck?
I don't know. The 911?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to know. I feel like I should call Emerson first and see what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Hello.
What is that 311?
Oh, I think Charlotte thought that I was buying drugs because she tracked her car to a suspicious alley and then she wouldn't talk to me for like 15 minutes.
Okay, well that makes a little bit more sense. I figured you meant you and her talked, and I was the reason why things got dramatic, which I was about to say, I am not taking that blame.
No, I can blame you for this one though. You chose the spot we talked.
Who else would know that you were there?
Only Charlotte. She just tracked the car.
Exactly. If no one else knew about that spot, that's all that matters.
So true.
It could have been the most suspicious spot ever, but if no one saw us, that's all that matters. So just not at your place of work, not anywhere where people would see you. In fact, I'll even make life a lot easier to avoid suspicion on your end. If you ever see me at autos,
Don't talk to you?
just pretend I'm any other officer going for a repair.
Oh.
Outside of autos, we can have 2-hour-long conversations, and I'm okay with that. But at your place of work, where people could see you and know that you're there, treat me like anyone else, and that's probably the healthiest thing. So
Okay, Flop.
sounds good.
Well, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense, and I will never do it again. I love you.
All right. Emerson, I'll believe it when I fucking see it, okay? Just keep yourself safe, all right?
Samuel Ketch just told you to shove an ice cube up your ass.
Tell Samuel Ketch that I have plenty of ice cubes and I'm not shoving them anywhere. They're up to me.
Well, I did steal that one ice cube out of your ass, Flop.
Goodbye, Emerson.
Why are people playing on the windmills?
I don't know. I've cleared up. I'm willing to go to that call if you want to. Go see what's going on.
Sure. I gotta answer this call from Harvey.
No, you're good.
Hello?
Oh, I had a question for you about Harvey, but go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Flop can't help Tessa, but Flop is letting her know, like, it's okay to feel angry, but it's also okay to let go. And I think that that's an important part. But Flop can't say like, hey,
Yes.
forget about
That is correct.
Kiki.
You should not be removing a license.
So the idea of letting go is up to like
Where does it say that?
eye of the beholder, right? So for Flop to tell Tessa, hey, forget Kiki, she's doing this to herself.
The Constitution says to revoke it?
Damn locals. Flop can't turn around and like say, hey, you know. Also, the other thing too about Kiki's, now that we know Kiki's involved, Flop can't take Kiki on a ride along, actually. But
Okay. So, here's how it works, okay? The driving school, was never meant to be mandatory, okay? When someone's license is technically revoked, it is supposed to be like it's suspended, okay? You do not need to delete the license on their
have a
profile.
good night. Dispatch
should
220,
stay on their
1041, 108.
When
I'm
you
going to be
have a
23 at the
DUI,
recent
that is
911
subject to revocation.
at the windmill.
Because that is the only thing that causes a mandatory taking of a driving test.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, I can understand the confusion, but that is how it's supposed to be. I'm actually...
Oh, God. I was going to back up for you. I'm backing up for you. What the hell is going on?
We were helping Logan.
With what? On a windmill?
Logan was stuck, apparently.
What?
But now look at him.
Not very stuck though, as evidenced by they're right there on the ground.
Yeah.
We went up to talk, and then Charlotte slipped and fell. So then I came down and I called you miss, and then I went up to try to help Logan off, and then I slipped and I fell.
Okay. I got nothing. To kind of clear up, Flop can't say, "Hey, forget Kiki." That's up to Tessa, but Flop is going to.
Has anyone dealt with business stashes before, like the ones that are placeable?
Yeah, 220.
Flop, I'm gonna give you a quick phone call.
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
So I'm here at the oil fields. Joey Toes has found a business stash in the oil field. I have emails from Serge Cross now that this is not his business stash. It is on private property in which he has contractual ownership of, and he is giving consent to raid it. Is there anything else I need to do, or am I able to just pop off the lock and see what's in it?
Paperwork is paperwork. If Joey Toes has paperwork that states that he owns that property and he's able to prove it with some kind of mapping, and you were able to prove by technically for paperwork purposes, I would submit a search and seizure warrant stating that it is on private property. Get the documents from Joey. Get the documents showing the outline and showing that Joey does not own this piece of property, and the fact that it is private property. You were looking to get rid of it and search it and raid it. Technically, in simple terms, you should be able to just pop it open and take care of it. But for sake of the way that things are,
that's why I'm having all these phone calls and I'm making sure I'm going through the right routes. Cross is not in the city. He's also heavily conflicted. So
I
I'm getting
would-
him to send me some type of contract
Yeah.
or some type of proof that shows that he owns it.
You need something to prove that it is on private property and not owned by, and then submit the search and seizure for a judge to sign so you can actually go in and take care of it. I would say
you want me to just
if
mark
it's
this
on
down
private
for
property,
reckless evading?
fuck it, but the paper route is safer. Even I'll give you a perfect example. Dead people don't have rights. I can raid them, I can search the phone, I can do whatever I want. I still submit a search and seizure warrant, so there is paperwork by a judge to show that I am going through someone's property just in case, right? Similar to this, I would just make sure that you have paperwork in this trail. If anything comes up, let me know. I'll talk to Tessa to make sure that this is the right avenue.
Miss Grace is in.
But I will proceed accordingly with making sure that you're going down the right path. Paper trail it all, and once you have the information, you submit the search and seizure. You can take care of the box.
Yeah, I'm just really trying to make sure because I'm not seeing like a property or anything because it's the oil fields that is owned by Ron Oil, and it doesn't appear like there's a contract, but like
there needs to be something.
Yes, but like I think you might know the road that I'm getting on here.
No.
The Ron oil fields are owned by Ron Oil.
No. I had a raid a very long.
That's my
no.
understanding.
I had a raid a long time ago in the barrio, and I had to speak to a judge and speak to someone in order to prove that the piece of grass outside of the apartments was public land, because I had to search for a body that I believe was buried in the barrio, and I had to go through a 2-week battle with judges to get them to tell me that the piece of property, I'll see if I can find the report for you, but the piece of property that I was looking to search was not technically owned by anyone in the barrio, and that the grass in the barrio was considered public land. Similar to this.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. Everything needs paperwork. Everything needs paperwork. If there is no paperwork, speak to a judge about how to acquire said paperwork and make sure you are taking the legal route. You're better off looking like an idiot for 2 weeks than you are to just go and do something and have it backfire on you. If there's something that doesn't make sense, make it make sense. If there's no property outline, go to a judge and ask them and say, Ron Oil is owned by XYZ. Here's what's going on. This is their property, but how far does their property line actually go? This is what's going on. There is no property line in any kind of business documenting. So the question is, who owns this property? And at that point, you need to let judges try and figure that out, and you need to try and go through those avenues, even if you are the most biggest nuisance to the people involved. Just whatever you can do to keep a paper trail and to make things make sense when they don't is important. So start with a judge, even bring it up across. However, you gotta, proceed and just have things make sense. It will line up. It will take some time, but I highly suggest this be the avenue that you go.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, brother.
My first time ever dealing with these. So.
No, you're fine. The big thing is just paper trail. That's the important thing.
I'm good. Me and Flop are just ping pong guys.
So
In tandem.
anyway, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta talk to Tessa real quick. But I will call you back if anything comes up or you need to do something different. All right.
All right. So I'm emailing Flop and I'm asking for such.
You're emailing me?
No, I'm emailing Cross, asking for such, and he's like, "Who is telling you this? If PDA is realistically telling me right now that the land being used for running oil for the past year plus, with the big ass Ron Oil sign on top of it, is being illegally used, I might actually laugh at every search warrant any of you ever produce again."
Tell Cross to contact me.
Yeah.
He can't be fucking serious. Have him contact me.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Tell him to call me directly next time he's around.
It's like, does anyone in PD have paperwork that MRPD is owned by the City Hall, Polito?
Well, so is Joey just an employee?
Joey is an employee and has contacted me on behalf of Serge Cross, CEO of Ron Oil. The stash is on Ron Oil property, as far as I could tell. It's right next to oil pumps on the property. And nobody knows whose business stash it is, why it's here, and nobody's given any type of permission.
Okay, well, I can't be the one to thumbs up it. If it's being thumbs up by the CEO of Ron Oil, I would imagine Cross probably knows his property line, and I would imagine you're good. I'm gonna talk to Tessa and just pass this on to her real quick. And
I'm gonna call Tessa and ask for clarity here.
I'm
again,
I'm in the car with her. Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Because I'm trying to.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Okay.
Velsing
Well, we
just
can come to the ranger
stop.
station.
Hello. I'm trying.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll meet you there. Okay. Goodbye. Are we good here?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Shelby needs to meet up with me for something. It's gonna take a minute. If you would like, you can go and do what you were arranging just now. I don't know what.
Well, something I actually need to ask you a question about, because I just told Velsing how I would
Okay.
proceed with this, and apparently Cross is very now upset with, you know, how I've proceeded. So,
Which cross?
Search Cross.
Okay.
I will TLDR it for you. Joey Toes, on behalf of Surge Cross, has a storage on their property and is asking, Velsing is asking if there's anything that he needs to do in order to remove it. I said that it would probably be good to have a paper trail and to, at the minimum, even if it's an instant sign, a search and seizure. I said, example, when people are dead, they don't have rights, but I still submit search and seizures on properties so that there is a trail of when I search this property. I do that for paperwork intent, and Cross did not like that answer. He also left out the fact that Joey was going to him on behalf of Cross. He kind of left out that whole part. So now Cross is upset, and I've told him to tell Cross to contact me. I said to Velsing, if he owns Ron Oil and there is something on his property that he would like removed, then I don't personally see a reason why you couldn't. I said, but I will confirm with somebody as to how to proceed with that.
So, whose property is it on?
Ron Oil's. Cross,
Okay.
Cross is the CEO of Ron Oil.
So why is Toes involved?
Cross can't be around. So he's asked on behalf of Cross, Toes is going to Velsing.
Okay. So Cross wants... He owns the business, and he wants something removed from...
451-26
Yep.
impound lot.
I turned around and said, at the minimum, I said, do you have some kind of property line for Ron Oil? And Velsing is saying, you know, no, we don't have anything. And I said, okay, well, where is it on Ron Oil's property? And he said, next to an oil tanker. I said, okay, that's a different story. I thought you meant that this was like in a hidden, you know, tucked away spot away from Ron Oil. So I don't know. I figured that my approach was the one that made the most sense, and I just gotta keep a fucking backfire for it. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I I would just talk to Cross about it, Flop, because him being a judge, he might know a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm just gonna email him directly because Velsing does not explain things over very clearly. So I feel like I'm having a middleman conversation. I'm just gonna contact Cross directly.
Because I'm thinking, like, if I had something like that happening at the driving school and I called police to get it removed, I wouldn't, you wouldn't need to do a search warrant. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because it's on my property. Whatever it is, I'm telling you to look in it. You know, I don't want it there. It's kind of like it's being impounded almost.
No, that's yeah.
I think, but again, I think you
314
might need to talk
10 any
to the
active.
judge about that, which Cross would be a good person to.
Well, I asked where it was because
Perfect.
I don't know Ron Oil's quote unquote property
314
line.
1042.
Yeah,
So-
that's a big area, so it's a different sort of situation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. So I'm gonna just contact Cross directly, let him know my stance on it, and just say, hey, if it's in the center of your property, I don't see an issue with him going through it. If it is off to the side or away from the center of your property, I question at what point does it become Ron Oil's land, and at what point does it become an oil field?
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I'm gonna do some photography
Ow.
stuff.
no, you're good.
I'm gonna
But,
paint her like one
you're
of my
welcome
French
to go
girls.
back out on patrol for a minute, and I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be
Kidding. I'm gonna picture you like one of my French Rangers.
Oh my God.
French Rangers?
Yeah, I was pulling
Also,
a
that also
Titanic
like
thing.
French.
All right. Belsing dumb. Hold on. Give me a minute. I'm gonna email Cross, and I will shout out to you guys what I'm emailing. Hey, I'll keep this short and sweet.
Dispatch 450. She'll be back 10-8.
Similar to someone having a stash at my shop. If it's inside,
Radio
there-
check. Anybody out there?
Hold on.
2.
if it's inside, there's no doubt I do not want it, obviously, there, and no SNS would be needed. Velsing did not explain the location of the box, and has not detailed where the box is located. I told him to figure out a property line for Ron Oil, as it's a business outside. I asked him where Ron Oil's line is business property and where it just becomes an oil field. I don't see an issue with it. And I'd assume an S is probably not needed. What am I trying to? Someone having a stash in my shop. If it's inside, there's no data. I do not obviously want it there, and no SNS would be needed. Belsing did not explain the location of the box and has not detailed where this box is located. other than the oil fields. I told him to figure out a property line for Ron Oil, as it's a business outside. I asked him where Ron Oil's line is business property and where it just becomes an oil field.